Greetings, YouTube. This is Fragments of Memory, also known as the Armchair Philosopher. I want to respond to a YouTuber by the name of Dion Laurent, one, and he talks about the McDonald fight breakdown. Well, here's the deal. CNN showed this footage of two women basically being pummeled by this McDonald's worker with a pipe, and this was caught on video on people's cell phones and the like. And what was funny is this guy gets fired after the fact. Now, I've seen a few videos of this incident, and one of the things that I saw was these customers got very aggressive. These two customers, and according to Mr. Laurent, the women were lesbians. I guess they were a lesbian couple, and they got aggressive. They were shouting at the cashier, and they went behind the counter. Now, before this, I heard them like cursing the employee out. I believe one of the words they referred to him as a pussy, and threatening him, saying "do something." And then they jump behind the counter and come at him, and he kind of backs away. And then when he comes back, he starts wailing on him with this pipe, and he commences to just wallop them. Now, he was fired from this, and Mr. Laurent one, Dion Laurent one, he pointed out some really good things. One of the things he pointed out is that a woman's bad behavior is always explained, justified, and rationalized, i.e., blamed on things like postpartum depression, or maybe they had a battered women's syndrome, or maybe they were a former rape victim or an incest survivor. So their bad behavior is excused, and often a permission slip is written, so to speak. A permission slip is written for her bad behavior. She's given carte blanche to behave badly due to some bad things that have happened to her in her life. Now, um, I see these two women as customers that got unruly and attacked a worker, and he retaliated. Now, I'm gonna be with Dion Laurent. I'm not a guy that likes violence. I abhor it. But in the case of self defense, it is there. That is why we have self defense classes. That's why people take karate and kung fu. Because we understand that we live in a world where not everyone's going to be respond to just a word. You may have to put somebody in check, and I understand and respect that. And I wonder sometimes, had the situation been flipped, had it been two men who jumped behind the counter and commenced to attack this woman, would there have been as much outrage? Would there have been as much media coverage of this? I would say no. I would go in the negative. Um, and the way CNN framed it, they framed it like this guy was the perpetrator, when really he was just a man that was locked in self defense. Like I said, I've seen a few videos on this, and I don't think the guy was wrong. I would advocate I would advocate anyone defending themselves, especially on the job where you might have money. You might have money in the registers, of course. Let's say someone's trying to rob you. Now, I'm not saying try to be a hero during a robbery, but I am saying that this man defended himself because these ladies lunged at him. And I am of the rule that if a woman steps to a man to fight him like a man, then she should be treated as such. Now, I am not an advocate for someone to go beat up on women. However, I don't think women should get carte blanche to just start walloping on people that they disagree with. That would be foolish. Now, I did find it funny when you said some of these women are trying to to be not just men, they trying to be better than men. Men plus, if you will. I like the men plus analogy. But what I think is interesting is that you did mention something that I walk a tightrope on this, but there's some truth to this. And that is that because these women were of the lesbian orientation, the lesbian persuasion, now he's going to be labeled as someone who's committed a hate crime. When in reality, it was just a man defending himself who was on his way to work to earn a living. And nothing's wrong with earning a living, nothing's wrong with working hard because that's what we all do. But I do think it is messed up that these ladies, because they didn't like what he said, they commenced to pounce on this man. And when he attacked them, now all of a sudden we're outraged. But we're not outraged that these two customers decided they could just jump behind the counter. So I feel like we picked the wrong battles to fight. Or because women have been exploited in certain situations, we've now, instead of just dealing with it, we've sort of thrown the baby out with the bathwater. And that tends to be what we do. We don't really look at the situation. We just go, okay, in order to not be like this, let's go to the farthest extreme end of not being like this, which doesn't always help. There are such things as subtleties, folks. There really are such things as subtleties in situations. I just want to say good video. I feel like, and this was a good three-parter. Now, I won't be providing a three-parter, but I do like what you're saying. I do like the fact that you are addressing the fact that there are two sides to every story, no matter how thin you slice it, and that too often men are made the perpetrators of crimes when that may not necessarily always be the case. Thank you for the vid, and that's my 2 cents on it. Take care.